Self-discovery on the way. Reflect, reset, be your best. Join the quiz, it's not a test. Feel the light, embrace the dawn. Empowerment, it's going strong. Daily lesson quiz, hooray! What did we learn today? Join the fun, let's all play. Reflect, reset, rise today. Morning gods, we shine so bright. Wisdom flowing pure insight. Soars through God's words, they lift us high. New beginnings reach the sky. Every moment, take it in. Start anew, let's begin. From the dawn to the night, together we ignite. Daily lesson quiz, hooray! What did we learn today? Join the fun, let's all play. Reflect, reset, rise today.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to First Light Reflections, your weekday guide to self-discovery and empowerment, where each sunrise brings us what? A new, fresh opportunity to reflect, reset, and create the best version of ourselves. Amen. Family, let's talk about the sermon your habits are already preaching. Before we greet the chat, I just want to ask you something. Is that okay? Can I just ask you a quick question this morning? If someone watched your daily habits, what would they learn about the God that you say that you serve? Would they see trust or fear? Legacy or survival? Because long before you leave a will, you're already leaving a witness. And here's the part that we don't like to admit. Most people don't mean to leave nothing behind. However, they just keep delaying the daily choices that build something that's worth passing on. So that quiet tug that you've been feeling to, I need to get it together. I don't know how much time I have left. I know I need to get this done. That quiet tug, that's not just self-discipline. It's heaven's reminder that every habit, every single daily choice is a headline. And whether you realize it or not, your life is already preaching. And the only question is, what gospel is it sharing? So let's talk about how to live a message that matches the God that we claim to follow day by day, habit by habit. But before we dive in, let's take a moment to do things decent and in order, because it's always amazing to see our wonderful community. Good morning, Michelle. How are you? How are you? Charlotte, sometimes. Good morning. What's going on, saying? Happy Friday, happy Friday. Let's see, 14 weeks tobacco free. Come on, Charlotte. Come on. Let's show Charlotte some love. Man, come on, Charlotte. That's it. Good morning, Vanessa. How you doing, Burton? Good morning. Hey, Jessica. How you doing, girl? You doing all right over there? And of course, Alicia. Good morning, Alicia. Good morning. Good morning. Praising the Lord with Charlotte. Michelle, congratulating Charlotte. Something I'm working on. But guess what? You working on it. You're working on it. Sending up congratulations. Charlotte says, pray for my husband who has to put up with me. We will keep him in prayer. Oh my goodness. Can y'all just picture that? Can you see it now? When Charlotte said pray for her husband that has to put up with her, did you just get a glimpse of the mental picture of that scenario, a day in the life of Charlotte and her husband in your head? I did. I sure did. Hey, Delisa, good morning, my friend. Delisa, how's that book coming? We getting it together? Okay. I'm just checking, D. I'm just checking. Jay, what's going on, 15G? That's my girl there. That's my girl. Up there farming and everything. I can see the little Jay. Oh, my baby got little overalls and stuff on, little fingernails all dirty out there in the dirt with cucumbers and strawberries and everything. Mercy, mercy. Good morning, Mama B. How are you doing? Oh, my goodness. Alicia sending up congratulations to Charlotte. Sometimes, yes, got patches. My goodness, family. I love y'all. I truly do. As we look at our poll this morning, our poll question, it was so funny because it was sitting at about 50-50. And right before I hit go live, discipline and faith went, they kind of exchanged there. So, our poll question: what are your daily habits preaching to your future right now? Be honest. Survival mode, 0%. That's good to see, right? Discipline and faith, sitting at 50, just jumped again, sitting at 57%. Delay and avoidance, 14%. We got some honesty there. And still figuring it out has moved to 29%. We'll see how this rides out. We're going to leave it. And we're going to see how this rides out. The answers in the poll stuff keep coming. The answers in the poll stuff keep coming up. Pray for me. Y'all liking these polls? I know Jessica told me the other day, man, these polls, you need to quit with these polls, coach. Y'all like these polls, though? How do you like them? How you like them? All right, family, let's get into it. And to all of you watching silently or catching the replay, I say thank you. You may be quiet, but guess what? I pray that your growth is loud right along with us. But I'm glad that you're here. Make sure to leave me a comment under this video. All right, let's get underway. We have some ground to cover. Not as much ground as yesterday. We're not going to go as far as yesterday. I know some of y'all left tired, like, man, Coach took us on a journey. All right. Heavenly Father, we thank you for seeing us through this week, through things that were seen, things that were unseen. Just keeping your hand encamped around us as we continue on our journey, because we know this world is not our home. As we continue on this journey seeking wisdom and transformation and growth in what we learn, we ask that you tabernacle with us and may you be glorified in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. So, family, let us not delay. Let us get underway. As Michelle says, thought about survival mode. Yes, especially first morning reflections for sure. Survival. I'm just in survival mode. All right. Our topic this morning: habits preach. Review your sermon. Looking at verses 22 through 25. Still in chapter 13. Proverbs chapter 13 this morning. That's what we're looking at. All right. Let's get into it, family. You're not just living. You're leaving something behind. Habits preach. Review your sermon. It may be the only one that some people hear and see by how we live, the things that you're doing, how you treat them. And so we have to stop pretending that what we're doing doesn't matter, because it does. Everything that we do, every choice that we make, every word that we speak, it's leaving a blueprint, a thumbprint. But the thing is, it's not just for us, but for the ones who come after us. This life is not just about arrival. It's about what we leave behind when we exit the room. And most people, they're so caught up in surviving that they forget to build something that will outlive them. But I know I'm not talking about any of us that are here, right? Because our devotional text, chapter 13, verses 22 through 25, is not a call to get rich or to get famous. That is not what the scripture's walking us through this morning. It's a call to walk in righteousness so deeply that your obedience becomes someone else's blessing. Because when you live right, God doesn't just bless you, he blesses your bloodline as well. So let's shift the lens for a second. What if your daily life isn't just about where you're going, but who's going to walk the path after you? Right? Yesterday, we talked about those that we're allowing to walk the path, to read off the map, to tell us which way to go, who's walking with us. But today, we're looking at who's coming behind us on that path. What are we leaving? Because here's the truth that most people really try to avoid. You're not just building for now. The mind convinces us, oh, I'm working on this now. I got to hit this goal now. I got to be at this point in my life. But We're blueprinting for the next. And the question that Proverbs chapter 13, verses 22 through 25, the question that it answers isn't, will I be successful? Will I have anything? It's, will what I'm building bless anybody once I'm gone? And that brings us right to our question of the day. What habits are you practicing right now that your children or someone watching your life might repeat? Ooh, to the we. I'm going to sip my coffee on that. Wow. The Uncola. Delisa says, I am not going to give up, Coach. Look, guess what? And I'm not going to give up on you. I'm going to keep checking in. Keep checking in. Our question of the day. What are the habits you're practicing right now that your children or someone watching your life might repeat? Is there anything that you're like, oh, mercy, I don't want my grandkids, my great-grandkids, I don't want nobody in my family to do this stuff that I'm doing or saying? Mercy, I got to fix this. Are they habits that lead to purpose or just survival? Drop it in the chat or write it in your notes. It's up to you. Because legacy isn't built later. It's being modeled today in those things that we do and say. Now let's dive in. Let's dive into what this actually means for your future and also for your families. Verse 22, a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, but the wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous. See, righteousness leaves an inheritance. And let's be real, this verse isn't just about money, family. It's about mission. A good man doesn't just think about his or her goals, right? They think generationally, right? He's not just saving money. She's not just saving up money. He's sowing values. He's not just working a job, just in survival mode. He's working on legacy. Leaves an inheritance to his children's children. What does this mean in short? That means that your integrity outlives you. Your prayers echo way beyond your lifetime. Your discipline produces fruit that you may never eat. But your grandchildren will. The great-grandchildren will. Someone in the family line will. But now the contrast to this. But the wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous. You might see wicked people just stacking up the money. It seems like they're just stacking it up. Some even have the nerve to get on social media these days and sit in the stack or just throw it, or just flash it around, Got a $300,000 diamond grill in their mouth with rotten teeth under it, no health insurance, no funeral insurance, no life insurance, or as my grandma said, no burial insurance. Boy, just got a mouthful of diamonds. But like the scriptures say, just a bunch of dead bones on the inside. I know. Right? For real. Yeah, don't make no sense. It don't. You're right. See, but don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. God will flip the script. See, he transfers wealth, wisdom, and opportunities from the hands of those who built on sand into the hands of those who walk in truth. I see it day in and day out. Have you seen examples of this? Give me a 1 in the chat if you've seen examples of this, because I have. He truly transfers wealth, wisdom, and opportunities from the hands of those that build and stand on foolishness into the hands of those that walk in truth. See, righteousness makes the most of what others tend to overlook. Verse 23, much food is in the fallow ground of the poor, and for lack of justice there is waste. Right? You've seen it. Or as they say, you seen it. I've seen it. And I just said, mercy. I got a friend of mine that she'll just put it in the text message back to me and just say, reaping, reaping. Sometimes she'll say season with it, reaping season. Yeah, we see it. What we sow, we shall also reap. Verse 23, much food is in the fallow ground. You say, Coach, what's fallow ground? What is that? Fallow ground of the poor. And for lack of justice, there is waste. See, this verse is often misunderstood. Often misunderstood. But lean in. Much food is in the fallow ground of the poor. What is this saying? Even in the struggle, even in and through the struggle, there's potential. See, the poor may not have everything, but guess what? Guess what? They have something, a little something, something. Unused land, untapped ideas, overlooked opportunities. And what separates abundance from lack? What's the separation? For lack of justice, there is waste. You say, Coach, I'm still confused. You done lost me. Injustice and poor stewardship kill legacy. That's what this is saying. For lack of justice, there is waste. Fallow land. Come on now. Come on. Teach, Charlotte. Teach. Come on. Look, let me scoot on over. Get Charlotte's spot. Come on, Charlotte. There we go. Come on. Sit down. Sit down. All right. That's it. Unplanted land. Injustice and poor stewardship kill legacy. Lack of justice, there's waste. See, if you don't cultivate what God gave you, what happens to it? We've covered this in a couple other different forms throughout Proverbs 12 and now through Proverbs 13. What happens if we don't cultivate what God gives us? Put it in the chat there, family. I'll wait. What happens if we don't cultivate it? If we just let it sit? The unplanted land. If we just don't do anything with it, what happens? It rots. The fruit, you know, it's like in Jamaica. You can go to certain spots, especially if you're going towards the water in some areas, and you just see a friend of mine was on a run to the beach one morning. Boy, and he just couldn't help himself. He just had to stop. And he sent me a video. He said, oh, mercy, look, I mean, just hundreds of mangoes on the ground. Now, of course, he filled up his hat and he filled up his little shirt, took his shirt, filled up his shirt, and he finished his run onto the beach to eat the mangoes as he went. But it's just so many of them that just rot. It's shameful. It's shameful. 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 I know. Shameful. So if you don't cultivate what God gave you, it rots. No cultivation, no growth. See, here's the shift, though. Your breakthrough isn't always in more. It's in stewarding what's already in your hands. Habits preach. Review the sermon. Let's bring this more into focus. May still be a little bit blurry. Much food is in the fallow ground of the poor. That means even in lack, there's legacy. But here's the issue. We get so busy wanting more sometimes that we overlook what we already have. Christy says if you don't know to cultivate it, what happens? Well, it still sits. It's unplanted. It's untapped. It's overlooked. But the one thing about it is God will not allow us to sit in the what's the word? God will not allow us to sit in the darkness. He always brings us that light so that we do know. It's that nudge. Sometimes it doesn't look the way that we want it to look. It's that thing that constantly comes back to us in the still of the night. It constantly pops up, but we say, oh, that's just coincidence. Or I'm always seeing that. I'm always hearing that. But see, there's something to it. There's something to it. So he doesn't just leave us in ignorance. He always provides a way of knowing. We just have to be alert and ready to catch it when it comes. Ask, someone will help. But see, we often get busy wanting more that we overlook what we already have. We think legacy is built, you know what, I can start building this when the money comes. When my platform grows, then I can start. You know what? Ooh, when I get some of this weight off of me, some of this pressure off my back, I'm carrying a lot right now. When some of this pressure lets up, then I can start building. No. Nah, sir. Verse 23 says different. The poor already have ground. It just needs cultivated. It just needs to stop being overlooked. I'm telling you, each and every one of us have ground. It may be that for so long, people told you, oh, you can't do that. You know what? It's 1,000 people already doing that. Well, guess what? Every time I look up, it seems like it's a new shoe brand coming out. Ain't nobody sitting there saying, well, Nike's already got the market. Well, you know what? There's Nike. You know what? You go into any Foot Locker. Is Foot Locker even still open, y'all? Mercy. You probably, anybody that been in, you probably just even got the smell. When I said Foot Locker, you just smelled Foot Locker. Just that hit you back walking through the mall. But think about it. Gucci, Prada, Louis, Fendi, all of those things. They didn't stop. Now, I'm not making another bag. Birkin even said, I don't care what Gucci, Louis, and Prada and them got. I'm still going to make another bag. And guess what? I'm going to make this bag worth $25,000. And people going to buy this bag for $25,000. And all they got in it is an EBT snap card. Yeah, mercy. See, sometimes we already have the ground, but people have told you no so long, or that you aren't going to make it, or you don't have the talent, or Satan comes in and says, you think you're smart enough to do that? So we convince ourselves, and the ground just sits and waits. It just waits. All chicken doesn't taste the same. If nothing else, they're always YouTube tutorial. Man, I'm telling y'all, believe it or not, all of this here, all that I do, even down to the graphic design, the marketing, my marketing company, Tornado Marketing, YouTube, Google University. I couldn't use the excuse, man, I really want to go to, in Florida, they had the school, Full Sail. Man, I ain't got no money to go to Full Sail right now. I really want to learn this. But you know what? Let me go over here and see what they got on YouTube. So that's how I initially learned Photoshop and all of the design. Googlecation. YouTube University. The poor already have ground. See, what's missing isn't the resource. It's the response to what's already there. And when you don't cultivate what God gave you, you don't just waste opportunity. You're wasting a sermon. Verse 24, he who spares his rod hates his son, but he who loves him disciplines him promptly. Now here we go. Discipline is love disguised. Let's pause. Hold on. Let's pause and deal with this one. See, we don't like this verse because discipline sounds harsh. But real love, it corrects, it instructs, it protects. He who spares the rod. See, this isn't about abuse. It's about accountability. If you won't discipline your kids or yourself, you're not being kind. You're being careless. But he who loves him disciplines him promptly. Discipline now prevents destruction later. That applies to parenting, but it also applies to how we train our own habits. We got to flip that mirror. It applies to how we train our own habits. No discipline, no legacy. Because what you refuse to correct continues to get repeated. This past Wednesday in our study, we were just baffled. How is this repeating itself again? This happened in the 1600s, but we're seeing it today. Because what we refuse to correct continues to be repeated. G. Albert, I was multitasking with you and David. Couldn't enter comments. Back to your question about cultivating. I say weeds will grow and take over. Discipline is love disguised. See, let's clear the air here. Discipline is, listen, it's not about beatings. Discipline is not control. Discipline is, let me tell you, discipline is not trauma wrapped in tradition. It's not. I don't care, and there's nothing no one can do or say to convince me otherwise. Discipline is not trauma wrapped in tradition. Discipline is love with structure. It's what keeps passion from becoming recklessness, purpose from turning into potential that's just wasted, and lives from spiraling because no one ever said, hey, that's not the way of it. Verse 24, he who spares his rod hates his son, but he who loves him disciplines him promptly. Spare the rod doesn't mean beat him harder. Get that belt and tear him up. No, sir. Cut the cord off that iron. Boy, I tell you, some people, man, I can't remember. Somebody was telling me, man, one time they mama had went out there and took the fan belt off the car. I said, the fan belt? Oh, my mercy. That's not what this means. That's abuse. It means don't withhold correction when love demands it. And we're seeing the fruit of that now, the lack thereof, of accountability and discipline. Are we not? Are we not? When you withhold accountability, it's not kindness, it's negligence. And you're not protecting peace. Boy, you planting some serious problems. And the word promptly, that matters because delayed correction doesn't feel like love. It feels like rejection when the consequences come knocking later. When the consequences come and hit later, and they hit hard. See, here's the application shift though. It starts with you. It starts with you. The rod is not always physical correction. It's not. But so many were trained that way. So what happened? Monkey see, monkey do. Repeat. This is what was done to me. This is what I'm going to do to you. This is what was done to me. So this is the way that I think I should do it. But here's the application shift. It starts with us. See, this isn't just about kids. We related to that. He who spares the rod hates his son, but he who loves him disciplines him promptly. This isn't just about the kids. Now, that's the easiest thing to lump it onto, preach a sermon about, and go on down the road. But this is about also how we lead ourselves. Do you give yourself structure? Do you hold yourself accountable before life has to come and do it? Do you discipline your time, your thoughts, your reactions? Because again, no discipline equals no legacy. Self-discipline, provision through process. See, your habits are preaching. And if you don't correct it, you'll copy it. If you tolerate it, you'll train it. Review your sermon before your future begins to live it out. Verse 25, the righteous eats to the satisfying of the soul, but the stomach of the wicked shall be in want. Righteousness satisfies without striving. This is about fulfillment. The righteous don't just survive, they're satisfied. They're not chasing everything. They're walking in what matters. And that's the real legacy. Not success, not cheering and applause, not followers, likes, shares. No. But a life so rooted in righteousness that you don't die full of regret. You die empty because you poured it all out the right way. Let's make this plain, right? Legacy doesn't shout, but instead, legacy shows. Habits preach. Review your sermon. Legacy shows. It shows up in the habits that you repeat or the ones you finally break. Because habits preach louder than intention ever will. So let's review the sermon that your life is already preaching. Let's see where our poll is sitting at. Survival mode is still at 0%. Delay and avoidance, 12%. Discipline and faith, 62%, still riding high and still figuring it out. Dropped down and leveled out at 25%. See, you stop. What does this look like? Daily discipline, eternal impact, legacy in action. You stop overspending and start stewarding, because financial obedience becomes generational blessing. You stop. Oh, look at him. You stop calling your kids in compromise and make the decision to start disciplining with love, because they need accountability, not comfort. You stop wishing for more and start working with what God already gave you. Because the land, that land you think is fallow, is actually full of harvest. It is. It just needs you to go out and cultivate it. To believe in the gifts, the talents. What are you going to do with the talents that God has given you? Are you going to take it? Remember the parable? Are you going to take them and bury them and hold on to them safe until he comes back? He says, look, I kept this safe. The 2 little talents that you gave me, the 5, I kept them safe. And you're like, remember the parable. You stop chasing validation and start seeking satisfaction that comes from a righteous life. And let's slow it down a little bit more for a second. If your habits could speak, what message would they be preaching? Because whether you realize it or not, you're already writing a legacy. Not with the big, loud, boisterous moments, but with the quiet, consistent, daily choices. And that's why this matters so much, fam. Because the moment you start thinking beyond today, not just the now, but start thinking beyond today, the moment you begin building with the next generation in mind, that's when the resistance hits a little bit differently. And why is that? Because the enemy hates generational thinkers. He hates it. See, the devil's not scared of your success. He's scared of the legacy that can come from your success. That's what he's afraid of. Someone once said the cemetery is the richest place on earth. Yes, I've heard that. See, Satan's scared of your legacy, because once you start living for something that's beyond yourself, you become dangerous. You shift atmospheres. You rewrite stories. You break those generational choices. You know, I don't call them curses. It's choices. You break the generational chain of Lemony Snicket bad choices. So his goal is to keep you distracted with survival, just going along to get along. To keep you focused on now So you never sow into the next. But when you choose righteousness, you don't just defeat him for you. It's not just for you. You defeat him for everyone that's connected to you and your name. See, that's the real battle, isn't it? Don't you think that's the real battle? Not just trying to fight to stay afloat, but the fight to stay faithful when no one else is watching. That's tough, isn't it? When no one is watching. That's when the rubber really meets the road. Because the enemy isn't just after your comfort. He's after your consistency. You say, well, why would he be after my consistency? Because he knows the habits that we build in secret become the harvest our family have to live with. Does anybody remember seeing that interview when, what's her name? From Martin. Went in to clean out her father's house after he passed. Does anybody see that interview? Give me a 1 in the comments if you saw that interview. Give me a 2 if you're like, Coach, I don't know what you're talking about. See, the habits that we build in secret become the harvest that those who come behind us have to live with. Man. And she had made the decision to bring live cameras with her. She was doing that and filming that. So the habits that he had built in secret weren't so secret anymore with all those live cameras. You know the one, what was her name? Gina on the Martin show when her father passed and she went in to clean out his home. You know? Man. Yeah. Look that up if you dare. It's a true story. I won't say what it was that they found. But those habits that we build in secret become the harvest that your family will have to live with. And that's why this matters. That's why this next moment, this next section in our devotional, that's why it matters so much. Because this isn't just about today's devotional. It's about the blueprint that you're building when no one's looking. Because whether it's 12 in the afternoon or 12 at midnight, your habits are still preaching. And while we're not live generally during this hour, this third watch of the night is still calling you to something deeper. Not to stay up late, but to start living aligned. So here's how you can step into this moment, into this time, even after the stream ends. 12 a.m. to 3 a.m., the third watch of the night, which is also called the watch of transfer and testimony. See, this is the hour, this 12 a.m., 3 a.m. This is the hour of spiritual inheritance. The world sleeps. Most of the world sleeps. I know things aren't the same anymore. The world sleeps, but heaven's trying to speak. This is the hour when God leans in and says, hey, psst. Your eyes shoot open and you look at the ceiling like, man, another night I can't sleep. God is leaning in and saying, I didn't just call you to live well. I also called you to leave well. Not just to succeed, but to also sow. This is the hour when God leans in and says, hey, it's not just about you. I called you to leave something. Not just to win, but to also witness. Because legacy isn't what we leave behind. It's what we leave in motion. During this watch, pray over your bloodline. Break off every pattern of waste and spiritual laziness. Declare that what starts with you will continue on and bless those after you. Speak these things. God, show me what legacy. Show me what legacy I'm really leaving behind. Not the one that I've convinced myself that I'm working on, but what am I really leaving behind? Come on, Jess. What am I really leaving behind? Uproot every generational choice, every generational tradition that I've accepted as normal, even though it does not line up with the rule book. Uproot every generational choice I've accepted as normal. Teach me to walk in righteousness and steward, cultivate, care for the season that I'm in. Bless the generations after me through the decisions that I make today. Let what I leave behind, let it point to you. Let there be nothing no one can do or say to convince anyone that this was nothing but the hand, mercy, and grace of God. See, and when we get to this point, the watch of transfer and testimony, 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. See, you've prayed, you've reflected. Now it's time to seal what God revealed. Seal the shift. You've been sifted. Remember our conversation yesterday on being sifted. Now it's time to seal the shift. Because what he shows you in this watch, it wasn't and isn't just a wake up. It's a warning and also a witness. You say warning and a witness. Yes, it's a warning and a witness. A warning. Hey, don't waste another season on habits that won't carry legacy. Don't do it. A witness. Your real inheritance isn't in what you own, but in how you obey. So before we close this moment, write this down somewhere today so you can remind yourself, my habits are preaching, and let them tell the truth. Because remember, my grandmother used to always say, what's done in the dark, little gal, comes to the light. So even if we try and cover it over, sweep it under the rug, our habits are preaching, and they will tell the truth. Pray that your flight not be in winter. Ooh, mercy. Your habits are preaching, and they will tell the truth. So while we're here, go ahead and wrap up those loose ends, man. Don't end up like Gina. Don't do it. If you want to know more about those prayer watches, grab the ebook. The link's in the description, or scan the code on the screen. All right. Now let's carry this clarity into our final word, family, as we coming into a close of our week. It's not just the conclusion. It's your commission. Yes, it is your commission to carry out. So let's make this plain. Plainer. Your habits are already preaching. Preaching hard, too. You know how some of them preachers, boy, they put the at the end, and they're hollering, and they're hooping, and they're going, boy, boy, they be sweating. Like, man, somebody got some water up there, you taking him some orange juice, you better take him some oxygen up there, too. Gonna fall out. Your habits are already preaching. Every choice, every shortcut, every quiet act of obedience. They're not just shaping your life. They're echoing also into someone else's. Because legacy isn't built with big moments. Legacy is layered in little faithful moments. One layer. Each one built on top of the next. One day, one of these days, your name will be mentioned in rooms that you'll never walk into. Not on this side. Rooms that you'll never walk into. And the version of God they see might be the one that your habits introduce. Think about that. How powerful that is. With our poll wrapping out at daily. No, which one we got? Nope, that's not the one that's in the lead. Discipline and faith at 62%. So that version of God they see, long after you're gone and your name's being mentioned in a room, might be the one that your daily habits today introduced. So ask yourself, say self, and when yourself say, say, hey, if my patterns are the pulpit, what sermon is my life preaching? Don't just try to leave a mark, family. Leave a message, a strong one. Let your habits say what your mouth never could. And that is, I walked with God and I left a trail of wisdom behind me. Remember Enoch? Boy, he walked so good. God said, you know what? We ain't even going back home. Come on. Come on. Walk with me. I walked with God and I left a trail of wisdom behind me, because habits preach later and they're preaching now. So make yours worth hearing, family. So you've heard the word. You've seen where legacy really begins. So let's see where we're at. Let's lock it in with our quiz. Y'all ready? How we doing out there? Let's go. Come on. Come on.
In the morning light so bright, it's the first light reflections quiz time. Toronado leading the way with God's wisdom. Let's start the quiz and seize the day.
Let's go.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on now. Here we go. True or false? A godly legacy includes more than just financial inheritance. What do you say, fam? A godly legacy includes more than just financial inheritance. True or false? G. Aber says that's true. Mama B's nodding in the group. She said, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Michelle, Vanessa. All right, that is true. Legacy includes wisdom, discipline, righteousness, and values passed down. All right, fill it in. A good man leaves an inheritance to his family, household, children, or trusted friends. Which one say? What you say? A good man leaves an inheritance to his family, household, children's chillin'. Remember they used to say that? Them chillin'. You were like, no, Tori, they didn't say that nowhere but where you grew up. His chillin's chillin'. Him pickney. A good man leaves an inheritance to his family, household, children's children, or trusted friends. Now, if y'all want to leave me an inheritance, I love y'all. I will appreciate y'all for it. I will. Mm-hmm. Which one? Going with 3? Let's see. His children's children, him pickney, or his chillin'. Somebody understands that. Legacy should reach beyond our immediate circle into the future generations. All right, family. What does fallow ground represent? What did it represent in verse 23? Was it abandonment, untapped potential, a wasted life, or over farming? Oh my goodness. He gonna tell Vanessa family and chillins are one and the same. Vanessa telling Pigney in the same. Oh my goodness. Let's see. What does fallow ground represent in our devotional text in verse 23? Untapped potential. Let's see. Let's see. Michelle says B. Let's see. Let a few more come in. Let's see. Mama B says B. Let's find out. That's it. Untapped potential. Even the poor can cultivate abundance when they steward what they have. We've seen it. Fill it in. He who spares his rod protects, disappoints, hates, spoils his son. He who spares his rod protects, disappoints, hates, or spoils his son. What's going on, Obs? So glad to see you. And I'll be coming to catch my morning minute too after I finish this. I look forward to those. You belong here and you matter. Always look forward to that. Thanks, Obs. He who spares his rod hates his son. Refusing to discipline. Remember how we covered what discipline is? Refusing to discipline when needed is a sign of neglect, negligence, not love. Oh, man. A lot of people should be handed subpoenas to explain why they do what they do, why they don't do what they should do. That's what it is. You should be brought up before a tribunal to explain. True or false? Discipline shows love and protects against destruction. Is this true or is this false? Discipline shows love and protects against destruction. Vanessa says false. Let's see. Michelle says that's true. Oh, let's see. Charlotte says true. All right. Wait a minute now. Hold on. Vanessa said, wait. I can see Vanessa. Wait. Let me fix my glasses and go back here. Oh, man. True. Prompt discipline builds structure and safety in life and legacy. All right. What is the result of righteousness? According to our devotional text, verse 25, what was the result? Power, satisfaction, fame, or, look at me, I'm popular. Popularity. Power, satisfaction, fame, or popularity. Power, satisfaction, fame, or popularity. Give him an extra dose of it too, Charlotte. He needs it. David Hunt. He slips in so quietly. True. We see you, David. Let's see, family. That's it. Satisfaction. The righteous eat to the satisfying of their soul, not striving. Not striving. No stress, no fuss, no muss, just peace. Fill it in. But the wealth of the sinner is stored up for who? Is it 1, the poor, 2, the chosen, 3, the obedient, or 4, righteous? Fill it in. The wealth of the sinner is stored up for the poor, the chosen, the obedient, or the righteous. Which one it be? Not fame. Let's go with satisfaction. David says 4. Y'all agreeing with that? Look, David didn't even wait on Michelle's answer this time. He said, I know this one. No fuss, no muss, just satisfaction. Let's see, fam. And Mama, look, fact that Mama B in, I'm going to be confident with this one because Mama B's in on it too. There we go. Righteous. God will shift resources from the wicked to those who are walking uprightly. Which of these actions builds legacy? Saving without purpose, correcting only when angry, praying over future generations, or avoiding conflict for comfort? Look, David said, I'm going to be honest. I ain't going to even lie. I seen Delisa put it, so that's what I put too. You can't help but love yourself some David Hunt. Man, which of these actions, family? What do you say? Giabra says, I like C. Praying over future generations. I'm telling you, if you sit back and look, we mock, we complain, we fuss. But remember, some of us, everybody here is at different age ranges. So all of this stuff that we think is funny now, oh boy, those will be your leaders. If Jesus hasn't cracked that sky and returned in his olden age, those will be your leaders. Those ones you said, them old dumb kids, they don't want to learn anyway. Close the whole school. Those are your future leaders. Think about it. Praying over future generations, covering the future in prayer is a powerful legacy building habit. Needs to be utilized more. True or false? The enemy wants you to live short-sighted so you never leave a legacy. The enemy wants you to intentionally live short-sighted. Just worry about the now. Cover for yourself so you never leave a legacy. What you say? Is that true or is that false? Remember the song, somebody prayed for me, had me on their mind, took the time to pray for me. I'm so glad they prayed for me. What you know about that song, G. Albert? Bam. Somebody took the time and prayed for me. That's it, family. It's true. Satan doesn't want you to think generationally. He just wants you to think that you got just enough to take care of yourself and everybody else after you gone can worry about themselves. That's what he wants you to think. All right. What is one action step from our devotional today? Increase your income. Reflect on your funeral plans. Build a business from scratch, or evaluate and improve the legacy that you're leaving. One action step. Well, I guess it could be two if you look, now that I look at it. Hold on. Well, increase your income. Reflect on your funeral plans. We all going to be bereaved at some day. That dash will be put in at some time. Which one we say? 4 and 2. 4 and 2. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, Michelle, now that I look back on it. Remember that song, now that I look back over my life. Now that I look back over those answer choices. 4 and 2. 4 and 2. Let's see. Evaluate and improve the legacy that you're leaving. All right. Your life today writes the inheritance that others will receive tomorrow. And it's a heavy thought, right? Every day we're preaching a silent sermon. Sometimes it's silent, but it's just screaming so loud to those around us. Not from a stage, not from a mic necessarily, but every day. But with your consistency, your character, your choices, and long after your words are forgotten, your habits will still be speaking. Still continuing to speak. Sometimes it goes through my head that long after I'm gone, my habit of consistency at 5:30 a.m. each weekday morning will still live on. So think about that. Long after the words are forgotten, the habits will continue to speak to your children, to your community, to a generation that's oftentimes watching quietly, but they repeat it loudly. And do we not see them repeating what they've quietly sat back and watched? Do we not see it screaming loud right now? They're repeating it loudly and say, y'all did it. Y'all created this. Come on, family. Do we not see it now? Are we not reaping the fruit? So, if legacy is the goal, let righteousness be the pattern. Let your routine be the revival. And let today's obedience become tomorrow's overflow. Because habits, they may whisper now, but guess what? They shout later. Habits preach. Review your sermon. Go live a message that heaven is joyous to echo, family. And remember, you don't walk this journey alone. Not only are each of us here in our First Light Reflection community and family with you, Emmanuel, God is with you every step of the way. And he's watching. He's seeing. He sits high and looks low. No one is planning your funeral. What y'all talking about funerals? Extra credit. Did you hit the like button this morning? Come on, Charlotte. Every day. All day. Oh, man. I'm not having a funeral, just a party, as I plan on having a fantastic journey. Boy, I don't know why that song just came through my head. Obviously, I'm going on a fantastic voyage. Remember Coolio? I can hear it in my head. All right, family. I love y'all. I truly, truly do. I thank you guys for another wonderful, devoted, consistent, devotional week. And God willing, where will we be back? When will we be back? Same time, same station. Same back cave. Same back signal will go up. Monday, 5:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Yeah, almost forgot my own time. All right, I love y'all. I truly do. Be good. Walk good. Do good. Be good. Tornado, I'm out. I'm out. And if anybody want to send me a box of mango, Julie mangoes, feel free. I'll be here. All right. Me gone.
Wake up to the sunrise glow. First light reflections, here we go. Torah uses God's wisdom to guide us every day. Self-discovery on the way. Reflect, reset, be your best. Join the quiz, it's not a test. Feel the light, embrace the dawn. Empowerment, it's going strong. Daily lesson, quiz, hooray. What did we learn today? Join the fun, let's all play. Reflect, reset, rise today. Morning vibes, we shine so